The day after my wedding, I wasn't waking up to breakfast in bed or sweet nothings. Instead, my new mother-in-law was at my door, but she wasn't alone. She had a notary with her, and in her hand, she held a pen and a stack of papers. She smiled, a cold, calculating smile, and said, "Zoe, darling, just a little formality. Sign here." I looked down at the documents. It was a prenuptial agreement, post-wedding edition, and it demanded I sign away every right to my family's inheritance. My husband, Mark, the man I had just pledged my life to, stood right behind her, avoiding my eyes. He mumbled something about it being for the purity of our love, to make sure I wasn't with him for the money. The irony was so thick you could cut it with a knife. They thought I was just a simple girl, an orphan with a small-town background and a modest inheritance. They saw me as an easy target, someone they could manipulate and control. My mother-in-law had been dropping hints for weeks, making comments about gold diggers and the importance of protecting family assets. I had played along, acting naive and a little intimidated. I let them believe they had me all figured out. What they didn't know was that my modest inheritance was just a smokescreen. The real truth was a secret I had guarded with my life. I looked at the pen, then at my mother-in-law's smug face, and finally at my husband, who was now looking at his shoes. A slow, genuine smile spread across my face. "You know," I said, my voice calm and steady, "this is really thoughtful of you. But I think there's been a misunderstanding." I pushed the papers back towards her. "You see, I'm not after your family's money. In fact, I've always been more concerned about people being after mine." Before they could process what I'd said, I pulled out my own set of documents from a nearby drawer. It was the incorporation paperwork for my company, a tech firm I built from the ground up, currently valued at a staggering $16.9 million. I had legally transferred all my assets into a secure trust the week before the wedding. Their faces went from smug and greedy to pale and shocked. My mother-in-law's jaw literally dropped. Mark's head snapped up, his eyes wide with disbelief. What is this?" He stammered. I explained everything. How I'd started the company in college, how I'd kept it under wraps because I wanted to find someone who loved me for me, not for my bank account, and how their little stunt proved I'd made the right decision. "You wanted to ensure the purity of our love," I said, looking directly at Mark. "Well, you just showed me exactly what your love is worth." The notary, sensing the monumental shift in the room, quietly packed up his things and slipped out the door. That was the end. The divorce was swift. They tried to fight it, of course. Their lawyers made all sorts of ridiculous claims, but my preparations held firm. They got nothing. The best part? The story got out. Their respectable family name was dragged through the mud in our social circles. They became a cautionary tale about greed. Sometimes the best revenge isn't loud and dramatic. It's quiet, calculated, and completely turns the tables. They came for a small fortune and lost everything, while I walked away with my dignity and my empire intact. I learned a valuable lesson. Always trust your instincts and never, ever underestimate the person sitting across from you. Thank you so much for watching my story. If you've ever had to deal with a difficult situation like this, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories. See you next time.